Hey everybody, welcome back to Illiterate Book Club. I'm Matt. So John's not here right now because he didn't exactly want to see this movie. This is our review for Disney's Aladdin, the live action version. And so let me preference this by saying I'm not 100% objective when it comes to this movie. But that being said, when I was originally going into the movie, my expectations were a little stammered because the marketing really wasn't very good. The first trailer that came out, the genie, the effects kind of looked really funny. They seemed like they were kind of hiding a lot of the movie, and even up until the end, Disney, who is very well known for releasing their their review embargo and showing their press screenings like weeks before the movie, they actually waited a day before the movie, basically that Wednesday, to lift the review embargo. So, that being said, it was kind of a lot of bad signs pointing that direction. And even now, right now, it sits at about 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, not everybody's loving it. That being said, I love this movie. Aladdin was one of my favorite cartoons as a child growing up, and I just think this was a great rendition. It was probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, of the live action adaptations that they've made. It was just enough of the original mixed with some added character development, I felt like, and a little bit of added story. That kind of worked better for the live action. But yeah, it was great. I mean, it was stunning visuals. Yeah, there was some wonky CGI. I'll admit that. But I mean, you're just so wrapped up in that story by that time that you don't even really care. And you know the colors, the dynamic range just throughout the entire and the vibrancy of the cinematography was awesome. The choreographs of the dance was great. Man, the musical numbers. Naomi Scott is a phenomenal singer. She's absolutely gorgeous as a person and very charming as Jasmine. Don't exactly know if I know how to pronounce the guy's name. I think it's Monsu or something of the nature who plays Aladdin. He was absolutely great too. Not quite as great of a singer as Naomi Scott, but I mean, he did the job appropriately for what he had to do. He was a very, lovable character, easy to follow, and it was great because a lot of this is hinging on whether or not Aladdin and Jasmine's chemistry works together, and it absolutely does. Another big question mark that a lot of people had is since Robin Williams was such a big part of what made the first Aladdin so great, people, instantly thought that Will Smith was not going to be able to live up to the character and that, it was just going to be awful, especially after that CGI kind of worked out. And, a lot of just the clips on YouTube just weren't doing it justice. But I'll say this, he is probably the best part of this entire movie. I'm not going to say he's, surpassed Robin Williams, but for his version of the genie, it's just enough of a homage to the original, but being his own unique character as well, that it really works in this scenario. I loved this movie. It's probably has the highest rewatchability, at least for me. And I know that a lot of people, since the marketing wasn't doing very well, people are questioning how well it's going to do on its opening weekend. The reviews have kind of been a little bit mixed for most people. But that being said, I really got the feeling that I got coming out of The Greatest Showman. The entire theater that I was in, they were just loving it. They were laughing as they were walking out. They're just chattering about it constantly. And I really felt like this is going to be one that continues to bring people in. Because of just the great musical elements. It's going to be something that, of course, your child's going to want to see, but then the adults can enjoy as well. And I just really feel like it's going to have that long legs that The Greatest Showman had. It kind of reminded me a little bit of that. But that being said, I feel like this had a lot stronger, more precise story. Granted, because it's based upon Aladdin. So that being said, I absolutely like I said, love this movie. I can't glow about it anymore. It's probably has to be, I mean, I'll call it my second favorite movie of the year so far, probably behind second or third. It's really close. Behind maybe Endgame, and I was a big fan of Alita: Battle Angel. But I mean, this ranks right up there with them for me. I would probably give the score maybe an 8.8. I mean, this is not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination. It definitely has some of its problems, but you get so wrapped up in the story. It's such a charming story that you don't even really worry about its problems. I think the rewatchability of this movie is about as high as it comes. It's going to be something that you want to see in theaters multiple times. I really loved how they incorporated the Bollywood type style of dancing into the movie. That was a really cool, unique touch. And even really quick, I'll touch on him. Jafar, it really worked. A lot of people were looking at him thinking, wow, who is this guy? But in the story in a live action setting, to not have him be so obviously evil, even though you know the story of Aladdin, but to make it somewhat believable that this guy could, rise to the power that he did by his, somewhat charisma, even though he's obviously, spoilers, I guess, for Aladdin, but this is no spoiler review, but, he's the bad guy. So, he absolutely worked too. But like I said, I kind of try to cut this off a little shorter. Keep rambling on about it. Absolutely go see this in the movies. It's worth the big screen to see all the color and hear the music. So, like I said, 8.8. I love this movie. I hope I can talk John into going seeing it, and he'll probably make fun of me. So be sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let us know if you loved it or you hated it. Tell us some ideas that you might have for some future videos. And we have some other stuff, other content coming out very shortly. So we appreciate you sticking with us. See ya.